Okay, so a lot of my conversations with medical providers, particularly surgeons, is in the area of commercial insurance. So they will typically send me claims and they'll say, oh my God, I'm terribly underpaid. I can't tell you how many conversations I've had with medical providers, surgeons, very smart, brilliant surgeons who send me a bunch of EOBs or a report that says, look at this, I've been underpaid to the tune of $5, $6, $7 million over these last 2 years on these claims. I'm underpaid, you gotta help me. Okay, so I say, well, what makes you think you're underpaid? And they say, well, I billed $100,000 for the spine procedure and I got paid $6,000. And I said, well, what makes you think $6,000 wasn't a proper payment? And they say, well, it's just so low, it's ridiculous. And I say, okay, I can agree with you on that, but what makes you think the insurance company did anything wrong? Well, this can't possibly be how it works, blah, 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 blah. Okay, well, the problem, and it's a pervasive one in the medical industry, in the commercial insurance context, is their assumption that they're underpaid when they may not be underpaid. But let me define what underpaid means. If I'm an out-of-network surgeon and I operate on a patient, I bill that patient's insurance carrier, okay? That patient has a health care plan that governs how much I'm gonna get paid by that insurance carrier. It's not the billed amount. I'm just billing what I bill. There's no fee schedule like you have in PIP where it's publicly available and you can go there and you can look at the CPT codes that are being billed and know what you're supposed to be paid. Nor is it like workers' comp, which says under the law that you're gonna be paid your usual and customary rates. The fees you're paid are governed by the patient's health insurance plan. And inevitably, or in the overwhelming majority of cases, the medical provider doesn't have the patient's health care plan. So how do you know you've been underpaid under the plan if you don't have the plan? Well, yeah, but we did an appeal and we try to get our usual and customary rates, and they wrote back, and then the appeal response, they said, we only pay out-of-network providers 150% of Medicare. And I said, well, there you have it. If this amount you got paid, you billed 100,000, you got paid 6,000, but if that's 150% of the Medicare rates, and the plan says we pay out-of-network providers 150% of Medicare rates, you've been properly paid. End of story. I can't help you there. So the failure on the part of the medical community to know what they're supposed to be paid under the plan is the most pervasive problem. Now, they do call, they get authorization, and maybe the rep on the other side will make some representations as to what the plan pays. It's never adequate enough information to make an intelligent decision. It could be wrong, and if it's wrong, you may have some legal recourse, maybe not, but chances are the plan is going to govern anyway. Now, depending upon the plan, you may be in federal court, you may be in state court, you may be in some particular state arbitration, you may be in a different type of state arbitration. So there are 6 or 7 different forums you might be in, depending on the plan, for recourse. There are time limits that are stated in the plan that the provider is not going to know about. The reimbursement levels are going to be stated in the plan. So many of these providers are not good at getting the patient's health care plan prior to the treatment. And that is absolutely critical. You can't make a determination that you've been underpaid unless you have the plan in the commercial insurance context. So a lot of the challenges associated with commercial insurance are getting the patient to sign certain documents where we can try to get the plan from the employer. That'll enable us to try to get the plan from the carrier. The best place to get the plan actually is from the patient if they are coming in for an elective surgery. I've been trying to help school our medical providers, especially in the commercial insurance world, about how to get better at getting the plan prior to surgery. So there's all these challenges, but you can't make a determination that you've been underpaid unless you have the plan and you've looked at the plan and compared the reimbursement to it and can then conclude that it didn't pay you properly under the plan. So that is probably the most pervasive, I don't want to call it mistake, but deficiency in the medical community when it comes to commercial insurance. We're here to help you through that. We have some very special services that we bring to bear at Callagy Law on the commercial insurance side. We call them action legal services, where we actually go in and we sit down with your staff. We get you the paperwork you need up front. We train your staff on the best ways to get the plan, how they can do that, and then in analyzing the plan afterward. And so we're happy to talk about that service if you want. We're here in Paramus, Callagy Law. Give me a call. I'm Tom LaGreca. Love to talk to you.